Welcome to the thrilling adventure of Catablo. In this chapter, our courageous hero, Catablo, is set to face a formidable enemy in a battle to protect humanity. High in the sky floats Etheria, a serene island where royal families reside amidst lush greenery and modern cities powered by electricity. It's a place untouched by pollution, where vehicles glide silently along streets lined with blooming gardens. Etheria is divided into two parts. A larger area for those with strong magical powers, and a smaller area for those with less. Below the island lies the garbage yard, where residents discard their waste to the barren ground below. A poisoned lake renders its water undrinkable, contrasting sharply with the pristine environment above. On the ground, enormous mountains of garbage accumulate amidst a population living in simple huts. In contrast, the inhabitants of the Sky Island enjoy life in towering buildings and developed cities. As darkness looms and danger threatens both realms, the giant doors of the castle swing open, revealing the colossal garbage truck driven by Catablo. The truck resembles a massive cat, prowling out into the streets. As it passes through the gates, people eagerly toss their bundled garbage, packed in paper and plastic bags, into the truck from balconies and doorways. Its tail functions as a vacuum, sweeping up debris strewn along the roadside. Catablo drives past his small house, nestled near the bridge that connects both islands of Etheria. This bridge links the larger island, home to those with strong magic, and the smaller island, inhabited by those with less magical ability. Despite the unity of the bridge, there remains a hint of discrimination between the two groups. Parking beside his house is Catablo's friend's car, designed in the likeness of a mouse. Continuing across the bridge, Catablo reaches the cliff with his truck filled with garbage collected from the city. He turns the truck around, opens the back door, and begins to throw the waste over the cliff. Bag after bag of garbage cascades down, adding to the growing mound below. After disposing of the garbage, Catablo turns his truck around and heads back to his house, satisfied with completing his day's work. As the garbage descends, the scene shifts to the dry, barren land below where poor people struggle to survive. These people are not part of Etheria, they have no magic and are considered useless by the Sky Island residents. The ground is dry and cannot support the growth of vegetables and fruits. The people here survive on the waste food discarded by the Sky Island's residents. They are responsible for managing the waste, burning it to reduce its volume, which causes severe air pollution. They dump the remaining waste into the river without treating it, making the water undrinkable and adding to their terrible living conditions. Among the desperate souls is a poor man eating leftovers from his plate. A cow stands beside him, eyeing his food hungrily. Just as he is about to take a bite, a massive load of garbage from the Sky Island crashes down upon him, killing him instantly. The garbage, filled with toxic chemicals and remnants of nuclear experiments, begins to pollute the air. The toxic fumes spread quickly, causing a devastating wave of death among the people living on the ground. The cow, initially excited by the prospect of food, tries to grab a leftover apple but ends up ingesting plastic, leading to its death as well. The souls of the deceased start to rise, swirling in an anti-clockwise direction. The spinning souls create a powerful hurricane, lifting everything from garbage piles to poisoned water, dead bodies, and dry trees into the air. The chaos culminates in a new, monstrous entity. From this whirlwind of debris and despair emerges Octomon, a fearsome creature with the body of an octopus clad in red armor. The factory remnants have fused with him, forming his protective shell. Tree roots have turned into his wings, and he wields a massive machine gun. Octomon takes flight towards the Sky Island with a menacing presence. As Octomon approaches, the Sky Island's residents sense the impending danger. The monstrous figure breaks through the clouds, his enormous form dwarfing the buildings below. He spews thick, poisonous gas from his mouth, blanketing the city in a toxic haze. A child spots the approaching terror and shouts a warning, but fear paralyzes him. The car near him bursts into flames, and his sister stands in stunned silence, unable to move. Panic spreads as people attempt to flee, but many are quickly incapacitated by the toxic chemicals, leaving them paralyzed and helpless. The king of Etheria discovers something amiss in his kingdom. Sensing the immense power of Octomon, he calls upon his loyal soldier, Catablo. Catablo arrives in his truck and parks it in the castle yard before heading to meet the king. Catablo greets the king, who informs him of the trouble on the small island and asks him to do whatever it takes to defeat the monster. After receiving his orders, Catablo says farewell to the king and heads back to the yard to get his truck. Reaching the truck, he pulls out a remote from his pocket. Pressing a button, the truck begins to transform into a giant cat robot. Realizing he forgot to sit in the driver's seat before transforming, he remembers another option. The robot's tail lifts him inside, placing him in the driver's seat. With the truck now towering as high as the castle walls, the cat robot takes flight towards the small island where Octomon is rampaging. As Catablo flies over the city, he is unaware of the devastation below. On the small island, Octomon's toxic substance is melting everyone it touches. The children who had been shouting, their sister, and 2 men are reduced to nothingness. Octomon continues his destructive walk, killing anyone he finds. Peering into a house, he overlooks some terrified kids hiding near a wall and an old lady sleeping in her bed, then moves on. Octomon nearly exterminates everyone on the small island before reaching the bridge. Spotting something approaching, he starts firing his machine gun into the air. Inside the control room of the cat robot, Catablo dodges the large bullets. He notices a mysterious wooden box behind his chair, a gift from the king on his last birthday, which he has kept close ever since. Managing to avoid Octomon's bullets, the cat robot delivers a double kick, sending Octomon sliding down the road, tearing it apart. Sand fills the front doors of the houses. The cat robot then blasts flames at Octomon, intending to burn him immediately. Thick smoke rises from Octomon's burning body as his lower half begins to melt. Suddenly, vine whips emerge from the ground, binding the cat robot tightly. As the robot starts to crack, Catablo jumps out with his wooden box. The smoke around Octomon clears, revealing his final form. Octomon grabs houses with his arms, making them fly, adding to the chaos. Without wasting time, Catablo opens the box and takes out a special machine gun powered by magic. Octomon spreads his roots throughout the small flying island, absorbing all the mana that keeps the island afloat. As he drains the mana, the island begins to fall towards the ground. With his robot destroyed, Catablo can no longer fly and is also plummeting to the surface. Determined to protect his friends and fulfill his duty to the king, Catablo focuses on defeating Octomon. Summoning all his strength, he tightly grips the machine gun and shoots a powerful beam. Force is so strong that it shatters all the mountains and giant rocks alongside him into pieces, sending Octomon plummeting through the ground and creating a massive hole to the Earth's core, where the lava incinerates him. Though Catablo feels bad for not being able to save everyone, he knows he protected many lives. Expecting to die from the fall, an emergency parachute deploys from his machine gun. Lava begins to emerge on the dry land surface. Some people who fell alongside Catablo end up falling into the hole. He lands a bit farther away from it. The dry land is now completely barren, devoid of trees and water, as Octomon absorbed everything when he emerged. Trees, rivers, garbage. Catablo now has to find a way to survive here with no way back to the flying island. He must rely on the garbage falling from the sky. Despite the challenges ahead, he harbors no regrets, knowing he saved many lives. The story concludes here. If you're eager for more adventures of Catablo, like and subscribe to join the journey.